Solicitors. My name is Vicky Newton, your host. With me is Mrs. Lawyer Eunice Champong, who will be taking us through today's topic, revoking indefinite leave to remain. Reasons why your indefinite leave to remain can be taken away. But before I introduce Lawyer Eunice, let us quickly take a short advert from our sponsors, BWF Solicitors. Don't go anywhere.
In a range of legal services, including family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary and family law. At BWF, our solicitors are pleased to offer high-quality legal representation at competitive rates. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, has over 29 years' experience as a lawyer in the UK. BWF solicitors provide independent and practical legal assistance for all kinds of family matters, such as childcare, contested and uncontested divorce, and injunctions for domestic violence. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at this difficult time, which is why we offer confidential advice delivered in a sensitive manner. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation in all family and matrimonial cases. Are you seeking advice on immigration-related matters? At BWF Solicitors, our immigration team are experts in dealing with everything from general immigration to complex immigration work permits, arranging as well as clearance visas, family visas, and appeals. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation. Our office is open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays by appointment only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are located at 4th floor Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, London, N15 4NP. Just a short walk from Seven Sisters Underground. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, is also a qualified barrister and a member of the Ghana Bar Association. He has acted as an expert in court cases involving aspects of Ghanaian law. He has also advised local authorities, the official solicitor's office, and other solicitors on the intricacies of Ghanaian law, and is a regular contributor on the radio and TV on matters concerning Ghanaian law.
So then why a quick ad from BWF Solicitors, your number one immigration law firm in the whole of UK. Well, without wasting much time, if you want to contribute to this program, send in your questions, or if you have any comments, please do so on our BWF Solicitors Facebook page where we are transmitting live. You can do so, or you prefer to call us live, on this program. The number to call is 0744 8619 711. The number again is 0744 8619-711. Please share this live broadcast because I believe it's going to help a lot of people. Well, without wasting much time, hello, Lawyer Eunice, you're welcome.
Hi, Vicky. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing well by God's grace. How's the family?
Yeah, it's fine. It's amazing how we are matching outfits.
I know, right?
I think you need to get me one of the BWF tops. It's very nice.
I know, the t-shirts. I love it myself. I just said to myself, do you know what? I want a quick one, so let's just do BWF t-shirt.
That's amazing. Well, has the week been very busy? I don't know, but I keep asking you. Very busy week. Any updates for us?
Oh, of course. As you know, I was saying last week that in terms of our updates, it's the ones to do with the EA applications, and of course, with those that previously made applications under our previous EA regulation 2016 for family permits. Some are awaiting decisions. Some have received decisions and were refused, went for appeal, and obviously were allowed appeals. And of course, the Home Office at one point said EA family permits are to end on the 30th of June 2021, and therefore no permits whatsoever will be issued after that date. And we've seen them revoke that, and they've now come to the realization that, of course, there are so many people who have applied for these permits, and it will be should I say, almost ridiculous to say that because all of these people have applied for these permits and you have said they will no longer be issued, then therefore they shouldn't be given the right to come into the UK. And of course, now they've said that they will go on to issue EA family permits, which will allow these family members who have made such applications to obviously be issued and be granted their family permits for which they would use to enter the UK. And then, of course, we have those that have also said that they want to know if they can still apply. And the EA route is obviously ended, but when we look at our EU settlement scheme, we know that it's still ongoing.
Right.
Previously, they also said it was to end by the 30th of June 2021. But we now see that if you are able to give reasonable reason why that application was not made before the 30th of June 2021, then of course you can go ahead and make those applications by whichever timeline that you have. Because if you come to the realization and you know that it's going to affect your work, it's going to affect you renting a place, it's going to affect you traveling into the UK, then of course you will do as is necessary to make sure that you have applied for your pre-settled status as an EA national or a family member of an EA national. So that includes somebody who is a spouse, somebody who is a partner of an EA national, somebody who is a child of an EA national, somebody who is seen to be a parent, a grandparent, a grandchild, or even somebody who is a dependent relative. So if for one reason or the other that dependent relative was granted EA family permit or was granted 5 years residence card and they are in the UK, they too are supposed to apply for pre-settled status or settled status here in the UK. So it's important that, of course, people know that the application under the EU settlement scheme is still open to all EU family permit holders and also those who previously had 5 years residence card or still have 5 years residence card
Right.
or permanent residence. And of course, as I was saying, obviously the 1st of October was yesterday. And so the regime where they say that EA family members or EA nationals who are coming into the UK
Right.
should be able to use their passports instead of their ID cards. And so, of course, if you're traveling into the UK and you're from any EA country, you should be able to show by way of your entry into the UK your valid passport. And of course, if you're a family member who hasn't got an EA passport, you should be able to show your valid national passport, including either your family permit or your pre-settled status or settled status under the EU settlement scheme. So all of these are necessary when you are traveling into the UK. And I know that the last week you were talking to me about HGV
Yes,
drivers
yes, yes, the process of drivers. Yeah.
and the fact that we had such a shortage of them right now in the UK.
Exactly.
And of course, they didn't envisage that when they were making all of these negotiations and up and downs to Brussels. And so, of course, we now see the, shall I say, short term effect of it.
Effects.
And
Yeah.
so now we are saying to Brussels that yes, we are willing under our temporary worker visa route to
Yeah.
give HGV drivers the chance to come into the UK for a period of 3 months,
Mm,
and then hopefully that should help ease the pressure that we are now finding ourselves under. And so, of course, this is good news, but I would wait to see the effect of this because, of course, that means that a lot of people will have to make these applications even
yeah.
before they can enter the UK. And let's see how effective it will be in the long
Mm,
run. So,
mm,
of course, that is also another one of the updates that we have
wonderful.
this week. So,
Wonderful.
yes, this week has been a good week. I mean, we've had a bit of sun and then we've also had some rain, but
Rain.
we thank
Yeah.
God for all of
Mm,
those. It
mm,
makes it
mm,
a fun week
mm.
because you can't have it all the same.
Exactly. 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 Right. Going straight to today's topic. Um, Laura Eunice, what does the law say about revoking a person's, indefinite leave to remain?
So when it comes to revocation of indefinite leave to remain, so most people would apply for indefinite leave to remain once they've um, gone through that route of having their leave to remain here in the UK, whether it be on a 2.5 or a worker visa or student visas if they've stayed here for a period of 10 years, or
Right.
they've been on other routes like the EA route for settlement. So, depending on which route you are under, once you've completed that route, you would definitely be applying for indefinite leave to remain after that period has ended. And so, for most people, it would be either 5 years or 10 years until they are able to apply for indefinite leave to remain. And sometimes it might be that you've got your indefinite leave to remain and you're thinking about maybe applying for British citizenship or just going up and down, traveling back and forth as if there was nothing to think about. And then you have this issue where sometimes um, of course, you're thinking there's nothing more to it once you have your indefinite leave to remain. But there are circumstances and there are situations in which people will find that
Mm,
it is not as simple as I just have my indefinite leave to remain and that is it. So
okay.
um, when the law says it is permissible that your indefinite leave can be revoked, if you look at Section 76 of our Nationality and Immigration and Asylum Act 2002, it talks about the fact that the Home Secretary may, so it's not a definite that she will, but she may have your indefinite leave to remain revoked if there are instances where, for instance, a person has been given a deportation order
That,
because they've committed a crime for which they believe that a sentence of 12 months or above means they should leave the UK,
okay.
or they have seen that this person used deception, which was material to them getting their indefinite leave to remain. And so, if, for instance, that person went ahead, applied for indefinite leave to remain, some of the questions on the form, have you ever committed a crime? Have you ever used any other names? Have you? So there are all these questions, and then you
Questions.
just
Yeah.
say to yourself, "Oh, all these things are in the past." I used a different name, but I don't want to mention it. So no,
Mhm.
no, 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 no. And it's just like but you are just taking no, and it comes to their attention that there is something like that. Then of course those things are things that you can't say you didn't know will affect your application. So things like that, you obviously would know that not disclosing it is seen as a way of deception. And so, in itself, you are deceiving them in order to get what you want. And so, those are some of the reasons for which a person's leave or a person's indefinite leave to remain may be revoked. And so,
Oh,
like I said, it's a may and it's not definite. And so sometimes there will be instances where they will have to look at your circumstances before they revoke your indefinite leave to remain.
okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us, this is Legal Hour with BWF Solicitors with me, your host, Vicky Newton, and lawyer Unisa Champon, partner of BWF Solicitors. Today, we are discussing revoking indefinite leave to remain. Reasons why your indefinite leave to remain can't be taken away from you. If you want to contribute to the program, you can do so on Facebook, on BWF Solicitors Facebook page. We would love to hear from you. Without you, I don't think the discussion is going to be as interesting as we anticipated. So our endeavor for you to please send in your questions, send in your comments, and share so that other people will know what is being discussed today. If you rather prefer to call us live at the studio, you can do so on 0744 8619 The number is 0744 8619 I would love to hear from you. Right, Ian Eunice, is it always the case that if a person has been given a deportation order or used deception, that their will definitely be taken from them? That's a question.
So, for instance, if a person has used deception or they've said, do you know what, I have this name that I've used and therefore I didn't think it would be an issue. So I just went by the name that I'm now using and therefore I've filled in the form as best as to my knowledge, because they will always ask you to sign your consent to say that the information you've given is true and they can verify it and all of that.
Yeah.
And so once, for instance, a person goes ahead and then says that, oh yeah, I've signed and every information in there is true. And then they find out that, well, the information you gave is not as true as you said it was. And of course, if there is the case that this person obviously, for instance, committed this shall I say crime, this criminal um offense because of the fact
Offense,
that
yeah.
maybe their parents made the application on the child's behalf and
Right.
well, they didn't know about it and it was such a long time ago. They can also consider the fact that it was not something that you were aware of personally. And of
Mhm.
course, if it's something that you were not aware of and such a long period of time has elapsed since that application was made, they may consider that. They also can consider the fact that you have human rights. And so when we say human rights,
Okay.
a lot of people will have in their mind a whole set of rights that we have, especially because we have embodied a lot of it from our EU countries members. And so a lot of us will know things like rights to life and rights to family life and rights not to be tortured, rights obviously to not undergo inhumane treatment. So
Okay.
there are so many rights, I mean, that we all know of, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we believe that as human beings we should be able to have some form of dignity, and we should have some form of independence in the way that we actually relate to each other and respect each other. And so one of the things that the Home Office will look at is this person's right to have a family life, and also the fact that they have that right to respect for private life as well. And that's under our Article 8. And so, of course, if this person has a right to family life and they're looking specifically at the fact that this person formed this family life before they committed this crime, or before they went on to deceive the Home Office about whatever it is that they deceived them about, then of course they will also take that into consideration, and whether, of course, this person's family life will be unduly affected, or it will be unduly harsh for this person to obviously leave their family behind. And of course, they will consider things to do with the person's health as well, whether they would be facing some degrading treatment if they were to be sent back to a country that they know nothing about. So there are quite a number of factors that they will look at in terms of, let's say, a person who has come under the category of either having a deportation order or having deceived the Home Office. There are things that will let them alert them, or should I say, give them that mitigating circumstance for which they can say, okay, we can see A, B, and C, and therefore we have decided that we would not revoke your indefinite leave to remain in the UK. So it's one of those things that I think that a lot of people may be able to fall back on, because as I said, it's not necessarily the case that they would definitely revoke it, but you have to give them those mitigating factors if you want them to consider not revoking your indefinite leave to remain. And so it's important that we also have the evidence to back up whatever we are saying as well.
Okay, brilliant. Oh, the questions have started. Whoa. Right.
Can you hear me, Vicky?
BWF Solicitors is a leading and an award-winning solicitor situated in London. Our expertise in family and matrimonial law encompasses divorce, separation, children matters, family breakdown, and financial orders. We focus on all aspects of immigration law. Our areas of expertise extends to visas for individuals and businesses. These include spouses, students, visitors, EU applications, investors, and more. We also undertake appeals and judicial reviews of negative decisions. We hold Law Society Quality Mark in immigration law. Our family law solicitors are dedicated to finding the most effective and pain-free resolution for our clients through the provision of sensitive, effective, and affordable legal advice. We are also Ghanaian law specialists and have advised many local authorities and other solicitors on aspects of Ghanaian law. We have also advised businesses looking to relocate to Ghana. Our senior partner is dual qualified as a barrister at law in Ghana and solicitor to the Superior Court of England and Wales. Client satisfaction is our number one priority. This shows in the number of positive reviews we have received from our clients. BWF Solicitors, your preferred community lawyers. BWF Solicitors is a leading and an award-winning solicitor situated in London. Our expertise in family and matrimonial law encompasses divorce, separation, children matters, family breakdown, and financial orders. We focus on all aspects of immigration law. Our areas of expertise extends to visas for individuals and businesses. These include spouses, students, visitors, EU applications, investors, and more. We also undertake appeals and judicial reviews of negative decisions. We hold Law Society Quality Mark in immigration law. Our family law solicitors are dedicated to finding the most effective and pain-free resolution for our clients through the provision of sensitive, effective, and affordable legal advice. We are also Ghanaian law specialists and have advised many local authorities and other solicitors on aspects of Ghanaian law. We have also advised businesses looking to relocate to Ghana. Our senior partner is dual qualified as a barrister at law in Ghana and solicitor to the Superior Court of England and Wales. Client satisfaction is our number one priority. This shows in the number of positive reviews we have received from our clients. BWF Solicitors, your preferred community lawyers. BWF Solicitors is a leading and an award-winning solicitor situated in London. Our expertise in family and matrimonial law encompasses divorce, separation, children matters, family breakdown, and financial orders. We focus on all aspects of immigration law. Our areas of expertise extends to visas for individuals and businesses. These include spouses, students, visitors, EU applications, investors, and more. We also undertake appeals and judicial reviews of negative decisions. We hold Law Society Quality Mark in immigration law. Our family law solicitors are dedicated to finding the most effective and pain-free resolution for our clients through the provision of sensitive, effective, and affordable legal advice. We are also Ghanaian law specialists and have advised many local authorities and other solicitors on aspects of Ghanaian law. We have also advised businesses looking to relocate to Ghana. Our senior partner is dual qualified as a barrister at law in Ghana and solicitor to the Superior Court of England and Wales. Client satisfaction is our number one priority. This shows in the number of positive reviews we have received from our clients. BWF Solicitors, your preferred community lawyers.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, as I was saying, I've got one listener who is sent in. Oh, wow. Now, Eunice, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So we've got one listener who sent in this question. He says, dear lawyer, I received my indefinite leave to remain about 10 years ago. Before getting my immigration status in the UK, I changed my name and date of birth, and the passport was brought to me from my home country. I have now realized that the age I am now using will affect me when I want to retire, as my age now means I have to retire 7 years after my actual age. Can I go ahead to now have my date of birth changed, and will my status be affected?
So this is somebody who has had indefinite leave to remain for a pretty long time. And of course, from the question she's asking, she's saying that I've had this done a long time ago.
Yeah.
I now have this new name. I now have this new date of birth. And now that I am actually feeling the pinch of retirement,
Yeah.
do you know what? I think it's better that I have this changed.
Yeah.
Of course, when it comes to decisions like this, I would just say, if you know what is good for you, then it is better that you stick to what you have said before. Especially because when you are going for something like indefinite leave to remain, it is something that you have said to the UK government that, well, all of this information that I'm giving to you is is true to the best of my knowledge, and you are saying that everything that you have given them is true. And so of course, if you are saying maybe for the purposes of me retiring early, I'm going to have my date of birth changed, and the only reason why you would do that is because you have evidence that your actual date of birth is whichever date of birth you are saying is the actual one.
Yeah.
And of course, you will want that to reflect on your passport. Once that is reflecting in your passport, it means that you have to let the other agencies, government agencies that have your data now know that your current date of birth, as it were, is not correct, and that your actual date of birth is now so so and so.
Okay.
Now, we all know that with government agencies, if anything were to happen, they always relate information to each other. And it's one of those cases where, if, for instance, you haven't got an oversight as to whether, for instance, you'll be making any other applications, and your information gets to the home office that, well, this person is so so and so. They previously had this date of birth, and now they're using this current date of birth. It could even be the fact that you are traveling somewhere and they previously have your data on there as so so and so, and the date of birth is A, B, and C. You are coming back on your travels and they realize that your passport has a different date of birth. You're stopped and they are literally interrogating you because they're thinking, how did your date of birth just change? And so all these scenarios could come up, and they will be thinking, if it could just change like that, then you must have known that maybe previously to you applying for indefinite leave to remain, that your actual date of birth was so. And they don't take these things lightly. And of course, they think that if you can easily have something as sensitive as your date of birth just changed just like that, then you are capable of doing other things.
Other
And
thing.
so, yeah, it's important that people realize that these things are very sensitive and you can't just go ahead and make certain changes just for the sake of your benefit. You should obviously have in hindsight, and you should always get legal advice as to how these things can affect your current status or live here in the UK. And so if they find out that, of course, you were deceiving them in the application that you made, when you knew, of course, that your date of birth was um, 20th of August, let's say 1980, and you now say that your date of birth is 20th of August 1990, and you know, of course, that that was wrong. You should have made them aware that that information was what was there before, and now
Before.
you now have this current information because you've gone to look for maybe some old birth certificate or some old baptismal certificate or some document that was there during the time of your birth, and therefore that is why you are saying that this is your current date of birth. It is not an issue if, for instance, you were writing your date of birth is 1990, and then unfortunately you made a mistake because the date of birth was wrongly put. They will always look at your passport to get the correct date of birth. But where the case is, the date of birth on your passport is saying one thing, and then all of a sudden, some years later, you say your date of birth has changed. That's a completely different scenario. They can forgive mistakes if on the document it's actually saying one thing and maybe you made a mistake on the form. Those kind of errors they can easily forgive. But when it is major, like a date of birth just suddenly being changed, you should recognize that they will see that as some form of deception because you had prior knowledge to it and you chose not to disclose it to them, and therefore that will be a reason for them to say, do you know what, we actually think that based on the probabilities that you knew that your date of birth was this day, but you chose not to disclose it to us, and therefore we have decided to revoke. And then it is up to the person who has been issued a notice that the revocation will take place for them to now give some form of mitigating circumstance why the indefinite leave should not be revoked. And as I was saying, of course, there are mitigating factors. It's different if you are saying it was a mistake because on your actual passport, this is your date of birth. But where the passport is clear that your date of birth was so, so, and so, and now the passport now has a different date of birth with the same name, then of course that will come into question. And you will have to be able to give them other reasons why they should not revoke your indefinite leave to remain. And it could be maybe that they have formed some kind of family life here in the UK, and because they formed this family life before they were granted indefinite leave to remain, they therefore now want the Home Office to consider that maybe their wife and children who now live here are people that they've always known, and they don't have any other family members anywhere else, and therefore they have chosen to continue their family life here in the UK. And of course, like I was saying before, they can also look at the time that has elapsed. In this case, he said 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It could be that, of course, he's saying that 10 years ago, he didn't have sight of this, but this is something that you will know. Something as sensitive as your date of birth, you would definitely know if it's correct or wrong. You can't just all of a sudden wake up one morning and say that your date of birth has changed. So in this case, the timed period will not count, will not be a mitigating factor for that person. It could be that maybe they are now somebody who is really ill, and so they are now considering that this is something that they need to do in order to get treatment or in order to be able to get the NHS to pay for certain things that they would not necessarily have.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it depends on how serious, for instance, the illness is. If it's a sickness whereby they are thinking, do you know what, I am not going to make it until the following year. There's no way I'll be able to keep going. And so I really would want medication and treatment to be made available to me, because now looking at my age, there's no way that I will be able to continue. And then, of course, the Home Office will have to consider the seriousness of the illness. It will have to consider whether it will be unduly harsh to return this person. It will have to consider the circumstances as a whole that this person will definitely find themselves under. If they have any family life, they will consider that as well before they make that decision to revoke their indefinite leave to remain. So these kind of cases are case by case sensitive. And so it depends on the circumstance this person is saying they want their indefinite leave to remain, to stay intact but still change their date of birth. So it depends on what the underlying issues are.
Yeah, Eunice, talking about this change of, date of birth
Yes,
is very prevalent in the Afro-Caribbean community. Do you agree with me?
of course. It's
Good.
very, very
So
prevalent.
now, moving forward, how
Mm,
do we prevent this
mm,
from happening? Because it will get to a point when anybody in that bracket, ethnicity, makes any application, it's looked at with a telescopic view.
Do you know what?
Because honestly speaking, years ago, our great grandparents, when they had children, there was nothing like registering like we do in the UK or Europe, whereby child within weeks is registered immediately. But back home in Africa, that I know of, it wasn't something that was being done years ago. So that is why I'm asking you, how do we make sure, how can we educate others for this not to continue happening?
It's very true. And as you were saying, there are so many people that I know personally, apart from the clientele that I have, that I know personally, that didn't have birth certificates when they were born. They literally had to go by the times. And so maybe something major happened in that year, and that's how their mother recorded their birth.
Exactly.
And if they were Catholics, and it helps if you're Catholic, then they will have that dedication, or should I say, infant baptismal certificate. So I remember one time this person said to me, my parents were Catholic, so at least when we went back to the church that we were at, they had something on the record. White people were the ones that opened up the Catholic churches in Ghana. So they will keep some form of record of the babies that were baptized there. And it's amazing how some of these records are also kept.
And some were having theirs tattooed, especially the market women.
Yes.
They have theirs tattooed on their palm, and that was their birth certificate.
Yeah. So you have all these different instances of how people's births were recorded. And well, I don't mind saying that I'm a 90s girl. And so obviously from that time onwards, a lot of parents started to see the need of having births registered. And that is to say, those that were educated were the ones that would maybe go and have the birth certificate of the child done, so that at least the child will have something to fall back on. And so you have all of these traditions over the years, and people will say that this is the evidence that they have. And then there are other reasons as well. So there will always be other reasons why people have their birth date change from what it used to be. Maybe they made an application, wasn't successful. They want to maybe change things around a little bit to see if their success will be on the greater side if they change their date of birth to make them look a bit younger. And so there are all these scenarios. And of course, when it comes to things like this, it always falls back on you, the person, and whether you'll be able to cope once your time is up. And so a lot of the time you say, I'm just coming to find some work for a few years, and then I'm gone. I don't want anything. And then you realize that life here is a bit better than back home. And so I want to be able to get the full benefit of life in the UK. And then you find yourself actually thinking, had I known, I would have done this way. And so it's good that we're talking about this, because of course, some of these things are not things that people like to talk about. It's not one of those topics that people bring up. And so once it's on the open, then people are thinking, okay, so maybe the date of birth actually matters. And it's prevalent, like you said, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
will ask you, can I
Yeah.
just go and change? Because now
Yeah.
I just find that my body is weak. I'm
This week.
thinking about getting this benefit. I can't get it because of my age. I'm thinking about this and that, and I can't get. And then I'm thinking about getting this medication. I can't get it because, and it affects a whole lot of other things. And so I think, of course, it makes sense to always have this in mind. I mean, whilst you're making your applications, please, if you know that this has come to your knowledge and you want to be able to make the right and informed decision, please go and see a solicitor.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
just do that. At least seek some legal advice. Don't
Mm.
just do things just because, of course, you've just heard it being said. It's right and advisable that you seek legal advice
Yeah.
before you do anything like this, because there are some people who were adamant. I remember speaking to a lady and she was just adamant, I'm just going to change it. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking it's one of the things that is going to affect me. I'm going to change it. I don't care. And I was like, really? You don't care? You really don't care about how it's going to
Yeah.
affect life
Yeah.
here in the
Yeah.
UK? So please, these issues, they are sensitive, and it's better that you seek legal advice when you are thinking about things like this and how it will affect you in the long run. So
Yeah.
yes, I think that these are things that are prevalent, and I think the more we talk about it,
Yeah.
the more people realize that it's always better to put the best foot forward, and then
Mm.
if for any reason it will end up affecting you, I think you will have to bear the burden, because at the end of the day it was for a greater good, if I can put it that way.
Yeah. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us, this is Sound Getting Out with BWF Solicitors with your host, Vicky Newton, and my special guests, Lawyer Eunice Achampong, partner BWF Solicitors. Today's topic is revoking indefinite leave to remain. Reasons why your indefinite leave to remain can't be taken away from you. We've, gone through a lot, so many questions, and what are some of the circumstances? Lawyer Eunice has taken us through all those, and people are sending in questions, and Lawyer Eunice is trying to answer those questions. So if you've just joined us and you have any questions, it's not too late to send in your questions on BWF Solicitors Facebook page live, where we are transmitting. Send us your questions, and you have any contribution, please do so. Let us know that you are here. So send us all your comments and questions, and we'll be very glad to talk about it, discuss it live on this platform. If you prefer to call me live, you can do so on 0744 8619 711. The number again is 0744 8619 711. Please pick up the phone and call us. Right, Lawyer Eunice. Cooksey is saying my son came here when he was about 9 years old and was granted leave to remain to enter at the time. He got into some trouble about 2 years ago and was convicted. He was given a 3-year sentence, and he has been told when he comes out, he will be given a deportation order to leave the UK. He has a girlfriend and a son who are all British, and all his other family live here in the UK. We have a family lawyer handling the case at the moment, but from what I heard, his indefinite leave can be taken away from him. And so, what can we do to prevent that from happening?
This is one of those questions that I know affects a lot of our young men that find themselves in bad company and
Yeah.
end up getting on the wrong side of the law. And I realize that a lot of them may be granted indefinite leave to enter when they are young, but whether it's fortunate or unfortunately, their parents may not go on to naturalize them or register them as British
Mm.
whilst they are children, and then they fall into bad company and things happen one way or the other. And unfortunately, once they get into trouble, and as I said before, you commit a criminal offense for which you are sentenced to a period of at least 12 months imprisonment. The law under our UK Borders Act states that the Secretary of State may, or should I say, would issue you a deportation order as a foreign criminal. So you are not a British citizen, you're a foreign criminal, and therefore they have every right to issue you with a deportation order to leave their country, because you're a foreign criminal and you've committed an offense for which you were sentenced to a period of 12 months or more.
Mm.
And when that happens, especially with our young ones, they feel that, well, they don't know any other place apart from the UK because
Exactly. Yeah.
they've come here since they were so young and their
Mm.
family life and everything is here. And so they're just thinking to themselves, how is it possible that this could happen?
Yeah.
At least with section 76, it says that they may have it revoked if there are no mitigating factors. Then it means when they make that issuance of a notice to revoke your indefinite leave to remain, and you don't have any mitigating circumstances, then of course they would stand by their decision and revoke. But in cases like this, if a person is saying that, well, I have my family life here in the UK, and in this person's case, she or he is saying they have a child and they have a girlfriend, and therefore they want to be able to know if that will be enough to say to the Home Office, unfortunately, I know I've done this wrong, but can you please have mercy, or can you please consider um, my right to family and private life here in the UK to be able to continue to remain here. And in cases like this, of course, if you have evidence of your family life, then please do well to evidence that. So it's not just the fact that he has that child or he has that girlfriend here in the UK. At least if he can show that this is continuing, that they have a genuine relationship. So he has a genuine relationship with his girlfriend, he has a genuine parental relationship with his child. And of course, there's evidence to back that up. And maybe it will be the case that his parents are here, he has siblings here, and the rest, and he doesn't really know much of his home country because since he came here, he hasn't really gone back and the rest of it. So he
Okay.
could have all of those mitigating circumstances as part of his, should I say, submissions to the Home Office. And so when you look clearly at the Home Office guidance in terms of having your indefinite leave to remain revoked, it talks about the fact that they are likely to consider whether this issuance of revoking the indefinite leave will have any effect on the family life and whether it will be unduly harsh um, on the partner, on his child, if he were to be returned to his country. And so they will consider all of those things, including the best interest of that child who is also here in the UK. And if that child may be a bit older, maybe a toddler or a child who is probably just growing up, then they would consider the fact that maybe this child has really formed a bond with their father
Mm.
and
Mm.
they need this to be able to continue, and they will not be able to cope if the child loses the father and all of that. So they will consider all of this, and they will consider the child's best interest as well. And if there are any exceptional circumstances too, they will take that into consideration. So it may be that maybe the person who is in custody is actually very ill, or maybe his son or his partner is somebody who is very ill and would not be able to cope without him. So they will consider these issues as and when the case arises. And so, of course, it is up to you to put those mitigating factors forward, so that on the balance of probabilities, they say, okay, we can see that you've been able to give us these reasons, and we will take that into consideration. It is not a guarantee that we would not revoke your indefinite leave to remain, but they have to consider those reasons put forward, and then obviously assess whether it will really be unduly harsh for you to have your indefinite leave to remain revoked.
Okay. Right. I think she asked another question that does her son have a right of appeal if their indefinite leave is going to be revoked? Do they have right of appeal?
So when it comes to having your indefinite leave to revoke, indefinite leave to remain revoked, that in itself will not carry a right of appeal unless you are able to show that there is some human rights, should I say, circumstances somewhere. So if you look clearly at our Immigration Act 2014, which came into force in 2015, it included in the fact that when we now say we have a right of appeal, we are saying that we have a right of appeal to cases that are for humanitarian protection or under what we call human rights. So if you are claiming that you have some human rights issue for which you have made an application, that will warrant a right of appeal. If you've made an application, or you've claimed to have some asylum claim, then of course we will look at whether you have some humanitarian protection. That in itself will warrant a right of appeal. And then if you look at our EA route as well, and the fact that, of course, under our EA regulations previously to us leaving the EU, we had the right of appeal under paragraph 36 of our Immigration EA Regulation 2016. And then if somebody's leave is to be revoked, for instance, if they have made a human rights claim, that will warrant one. And for British passport applications as well, if you have naturalized and your citizenship is being revoked, you will have a right of appeal in that sense. And then you also have those that may come under our EU settlement scheme. So they as well will have a right of appeal because of the withdrawal agreement, a lot of applications that were made after the 31st of January will now have a right of appeal. So when I say 31st of January, I mean 31st of January 2020, when we knew for sure that Britain had left the EU. So yes, all these people will have a right of appeal, but you should have a human rights claim with your revocation for indefinite leave to remain to be able to have that right exercised. So on its own, no, you wouldn't have a right of appeal. But if there is some form of human rights claim in it, then of course you will have a right of appeal.
Okay. So, Lawyer Eunice, I know we are talking about indefinite leave to remain, but does it also apply if you have a British passport?
Definitely. I think that,
Really?
yes. Yes.
See.
Yes. Yes. So if you
Okay.
have British citizenship, don't think that your British
What I was
citizenship once
thinking, you're
is gotten
untouchable.
is forever. There have been cases where people have been deprived of their British citizenship, and
Mm,
apparently, for some reason, that has been on the high for quite some time now. In the coming years, I think either people are now, should I say, relating or liaising more with government officials. So
okay.
there's that is being coming up to an increase. I was just reading something somewhere where they said that they've realized that uh, deprivation cases have increased, and of course, like I said, it's to do with those that may have criminal records. You have
Mm,
seen on the news um Shemaima Begum and the fact that
yeah.
she is British and she wants to return to the UK, and they're saying, no, 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 we don't want you here. We're depriving you
Mm,
because, of course, terrorism, acts of terrorism are seen
yeah.
as criminal offenses
Yes.
in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
UK,
Yeah.
and therefore we will deprive you of your British citizenship. And
Mhm.
so it is in terms of deception. And if you have been seen to deceive the Home Office in one way or the other, we will deprive you of your British citizenship because it is a privilege. We are giving it to you as a privilege. And even if you say you were born here, maybe your parents were not born here. And if your parents are nationals of other countries, and we know that in that country it will be legal for you to have that country's nationality, then we will deprive you of our British citizenship, and then you can go ahead and take the citizenship of your parents, for instance.
So, Laura
And
Eunice, in that case, such people, it only applies to those whose parents or grandparents did not really originate from the UK. Because if your mom, dad, grandparents, and sisters were
yeah,
British,
we're British, yeah.
so where are you going?
Of course, then you'll be stateless. It will mean that you have nothing, isn't it? It will mean that you have nothing. But to tell you the truth, of course, um they would consider all of those other factors.
Okay.
And once you have said that you're committing acts of terrorism, for instance, and you're going to join other groups, and a lot of the time I really don't want to enter into the political side of it, because then you will be looking at the fact that if, for instance, it was somebody who is British from
Mm. Mm.
ancestry onwards,
Yeah. Yeah.
then would you have put that same person in the same
In the
category
same
as somebody like
category. That's my point.
Jemima Begum? And
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
those things are, should I say, geared in a political sense. And so I would rather stay away from that political arena and say
Okay.
that lawfully that person will be stateless if they were to have their British citizenship denied them. So that is, should I say, the legal perspective. But when it comes to the political side, of
Mm,
course,
mm, mm,
everybody
mm,
will
mm.
have to look at it with those narrow eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that, is it? Years ago,
I think,
irrespective of the level of, your convictions, you wouldn't be asked to
yeah. And I think that, like I was saying, I read somewhere that statistically it's gone up because, of course, you have terrorism, acts of terrorism
parents.
being
Yes,
done
yes, yes, yes.
on a higher level than
Mm, mm.
before, and maybe they are now
Yeah, it's
correlating
true.
more with their government
True.
departments, and so
Yeah.
where there are cases of deception, they are able to easily get intel to find out
Mm,
that, well, this person has now got this information where they didn't
yeah,
have it
yeah,
before. And
yeah.
so all of this may be making it um more,
I
should
can
I
see
say,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
more available to the Home Office to actually see that this is what is going on, and therefore we need to actually put a stamp on this to make sure that this does not keep going on.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Right. So I think they exhausted all my questions. Before you just give us a summary and your details, if anybody else watching us wants to contact you for advice, let me quickly give a shout out to some of the people watching us live on Facebook. Laura Eunice, do you want to do that, or I should do that?
Please go ahead.
Right. Thank you. Yes. So if I'm not able to mention your name, please forgive me, because time is far spent and we need to, bring the show to an end. I'll quickly give a shout out first to Mr. Bernard Weisman. Thank you so much. Nana Brochiede, thank you for watching us. Kwame Atajima, hi. Thank you for watching us. Eric Kwabena Yabua, Nana Bob. Oh, my very own Louisa Sante. Hello, darling. Thank you so much. Mrs. Helena Kumi. Hello. Thank you. Nana Jaman. Yes. I think that is it. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, all too soon, we've come to the end of today's program. I believe that you've learned so much. And I will also entreat you to share the recorded version of this live program, which you can get access to on the BWF Solicitors Facebook page. You can go back and listen to this program again. You can also share all your friends who, one way or the other, missed today's program. If you want to contact Lawyer Eunice, she will give you her contact details at the end of this program. Lawyer Eunice, could you please give your details for those who are watching and wants to get in touch with you?
Okay, so for anybody who has listened in to the program and wants to make further inquiries or is thinking about just having some contact details for other immigration issues or other family matters or other legal issues that they may have, do not hesitate to contact me on 075 35 81 3910. So 075 35 81 3910. As Vicky said, I am also one of the solicitors at BWF Solicitors. We are in London. Our address is the 4th floor of Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, London. And the postcode is N15 4NP. I'll mention the postcode again. So it's N15 4NP. Our main office is open from Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. And our main office line is 0208 493 7340. So 0208 493 7340.
Thank you very much. And may I also remind our viewers that BWF Solicitors also have from the Community and the Law program every Saturday 4 p.m. and they are coming live today at 4 p.m. Guest is the senior partner of BWF Solicitors, Mr. Bernard Owusu, who will be interviewed by Mr. Frimpong. Today's topic is when is a marriage not a marriage and your divorce not a divorce. Wow. I like the topic.
Yes. Yes.
Why
very
is a marriage not a marriage?
Yes.
And a divorce not a divorce. Wow, I would like to know more about that. Yeah, so please tune in at 4 p.m. today live on BWF Solicitors Facebook page to know what Mr. Bernard Owusu is talking about. So on that note, thank you so much for staying with us through the program. Without you, there is no us. Without you, this program is not going to be successful. And as usual, with all your support, we are going higher, higher, and higher. Thank you so much. And please spread the word to all those who need any legal advice. Please recommend BWF Solicitors. They are there. They are lovely. When you go there, the reception is amazing. Try it and you come and tell me that, Vicky, you were right. So on that note, with myself and Lawyer Eunice, we say goodbye, take good care of yourself, and God bless. See you next week, same time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
BWF Solicitors is a leading and an award-winning solicitor situated in London. Our expertise in family and matrimonial law encompasses divorce, separation, children matters, family breakdown, and financial orders. We focus on all aspects of immigration law. Our areas of expertise extends to visas for individuals and businesses. These include spouses, students, visitors, EU applications, investors, and more. We also undertake appeals and judicial reviews of negative decisions. We hold Law Society Quality Mark in immigration law. Our family law solicitors are dedicated to finding the most effective and pain-free resolution for our clients through the provision of sensitive, effective, and affordable legal advice. We are also Ghanaian law specialists and have advised many local authorities and other solicitors on aspects of Ghanaian law. We have also advised businesses looking to relocate to Ghana. Our senior partner is dual qualified as a barrister at law in Ghana and solicitor to the Superior Court of England and Wales. Client satisfaction is our #1 priority. This shows in the number of positive reviews we have received from our clients. BWF Solicitors, your preferred community lawyers.